Before we get started, gotta give a few shoutouts. Tay Murphy, The Goat Productions, and Diego Garcia. Here's a huge thumbs up that goes out to you. Thank you so much for watching Toy Gander. I've been getting a lot of questions and comments about my upload schedule. Just an FYI, I'm going through a new move right now, so things are kind of in the mix, and I haven't been uploading twice a week. So far, it's only been once a week, but I do plan on getting back on schedule. So with that being said, it is all about Fortnite. We have a bunch of Fortnite figs that I want to review for you today, and we will start off from a build by Eclipse Grafx. This is Defend a Fort vending machine. This is basically a vending machine with all the guns in it. You can see it's got some really nice packaging on it, and honestly, for a Fortnite, transition into LEGO, it looks pretty dang good. So I'm really excited about this. Let's go ahead and open it on up. I love the packaging with this for the clamshell package. Really cool design on this Fortnite vending machine. Overall, great build. Nothing on the back, but printing on the side, and you can kind of see all the stickers and whatnot. This is actually UV printed, I believe, on here, not pad printed, so it's a little bit raised, but it's got a really nice feel to it. And you can see some printing on the top, and it's got these little studs all throughout the bottom here to make it stand upright. And it also comes with this shooter right here, which is fantastic to see. This is, again, Eclipse Grafx. You can check him out on his website or his Instagram, and he's got all these things for sale, on top of all a bunch of other custom minifigures and minifig accessories, and they're all printed on actual Lego, so that means the quality is there as far as the plastic goes. So all these custom LEGO Fortnite minifigure characters are actually, I believe all of them are ripoffs of Just2good and Ashnflash for their custom LEGO minifigure or CMF draft custom Fortnite model. So these are a knockoff brand, but what we're going to do here today, I'm going to have you guys name them off. I will list the number of each minifigure. You guys name them off in the comments below. In the first or top 3 to get them all right, I'll give you a shout out in the next video I do. So let's start off with minifigure number 1. Okay, minifigure number 1 is actually done pretty well. The overall custom mold for the helmet looks pretty original to the actual character. I do like that overall print on there. I will say the printing for the visor is a little bit off. You can see that orange doesn't quite stick out right, or doesn't blend quite right onto the actual plastic mold, but it's not too bad, and the overall printing throughout the whole character is done pretty well as well, I guess. And then you look at the printing on the torso, it's done pretty decent. Decent overall printing on the face, although it's a little bit dark. And then you can see some printing on the back. It's an okay design, nothing on the sides. And for a bonus one, let me know what this is in his hand as well. So we'll put that helmet right back on. Again, this is minifigure number 1. Who is minifig number 1? Minifig number 2. This is another Ashnflash Just2good ripoff Fortnite CMF draft mini-series design, but you could clearly tell. I think you guys know exactly who this is, but this is minifigure number 2, and the overall printing is pretty good all throughout the front character. It's actually done very nicely. I do like the transition from the torso down to the legs. It looks pretty good, and then even over on the feet, there's some nice 360-degree printing throughout there, so not much complaints as far as this goes. The only complaint probably comes from the head design, and you can kind of see that the printing is a little bit off on the eyes. They just kind of bulge out a little bit, and then the black ring oversprays a little bit on there. So not much to complain about. Other than this, it looks like there was a defect in the top of this mold here, because it literally just falls off. It's well, I guess there's a defect in the arm as well. Let's plop that thing back on. But you can kind of see right there to where it just kind of it literally falls off every single time. And then there's some overspray throughout there, even though the lighting's really bright. Maybe I'll turn it a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. You could tell that there is just bad printing throughout this can right here. But I'll open this up. You can see underneath there is a face mold right here. Not much going on other than that. So we'll put the head back on, and you guys let me know who is minifigure number 2. Next minifig. You know what is interesting about this one is this is totally a ripoff from Just2good and Ashnflash. So that's really interesting to see because they use the backpack design that kind of floats off there, and yeah, that's definitely in their creation. So. Well, hats off goes to them. Make sure you guys check it out. Just2good and Ashnflash, their CMF draft series. It's fantastic. I do love it. I love seeing all the custom minifigures. I'm all about them, and I wish LEGO would make all these, but unfortunately they don't. Back to minifigure number 3, I will say the printing design and the overall design is okay. I like the design, but the execution on the design is where it kind of fails, and you can kind of see that with the face. The face print is a little bit over the place, and that's just because all the printing doesn't line up, specifically for the black dots and just the overall face and I guess the mustache on there just doesn't quite look right. The printing for the torso does. I mean, the printing on the torso, I'll take his head off right here. I guess everything will come off with it. It's a really tight fit, extremely tight. Take the backpack off, and you can kind of see right there, it's actually done very well. Overall printing on this, kind of the same thing with the arms for the other one. The arms do just plop right off. It's the clutch power. It's weak. It is not LEGO quality, but I mean, that's to be expected with these knockoffs. When I put the head back on, you know, oh man, that's so tight on there. Ridiculous. You know, it just, it's not done well. Although I will say, you know, for a custom molded head, you know, I'll give them props for at least doing that. The other thing that's kind of weird, and I've noticed this with all the stands on this brand has some really janky stands. A lot of extra plastic from the molds on here. I don't know if that's just maybe a defect in this line, but it's not typical to see that with these knockoffs. So a little bit of a downplay for that. But who is this Fortnite minifigure number 3? Next minifig. You know what was interesting with this Fortnite custom minifigure is actually when I had this one came with this design right here, and I was like, why does it come with 2 heads? And one thing that I noticed, if I could do this right, if you could see right here, look, the head on this one, or the eyes and the mouth come up higher, and I think what they did is they recognized the error in that, so they had to move it, because when you plop this one onto this model, it actually, the eyes show up correctly, but on the other one, if I'll put this one back on, you'll notice the eyes just get hidden under the mask, and I think they're like, oh wait, this doesn't work. It doesn't look right with the custom molded head, I guess a hoodie piece, technically a helmet, but a hoodie piece is what it's supposed to be. So they had to quickly make something to make it work, and they just kind of threw it in the mix. So interesting fact, but nonetheless, I think this is a pretty okay design. Nothing really stands out about it. Same issues with the molding. I mean, these arms are really bad on this line. I don't know what it is about it, but the arms are so loose. I just think this plastic run was really poor on this brand. But I mean, the printing's okay. I do like the overall molding for the helmet looks good. The molding or the printing on the front of the torso and the front of the legs looks really good, nice and vibrant. It's done very well. Just kind of disappointing because obviously it not being official LEGO, you're going to get those poor designs with that. So, or poor design flaws, I should say, with that. But who is Minifigure Fortnite custom blah 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 number 4? Next minifig. Custom Fortnite minifigure number 5. The overall design is very similar to this one. It would say as far as quality goes, it's around the same as well. I mean, the mask is nicely molded. It looks alright. A little bit extra plastic on the top, but I'm picky, so I'm going to point that out for you guys. The overall printing is kind of where it fails, and I think it's just a problem with when they do a custom molded head. They have to like reprogram it and make it fit, and sometimes it's just kind of around about where the paint is supposed to go, and that's just one of the I think the issues that they have when they try to push these figures out as quickly as they do. So you can see the overall design is 360 degree printing, just like the other ones. It looks fairly nice. I like the fact that they included the pickaxe, but besides that, You can see the face print is, again, very similar to the other one. Not a whole lot. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm thrilled with this design, although it's not necessarily a fault of the design creator. It's more of just like the actual character and how it's being translated into Lego form. Just seems a little bit boring to me, and also the paint color scheme doesn't quite match from the helmet down to the torso and the legs, so that probably is throwing me off as well. It just kind of seems like the helmet's like an added bit that they just chucked on it. So either way, who is minifigure number 5? Minifig number 6. So I'm running into additional design flaws on this piece. One thing, again, that's interesting on this. So in addition to the plastic for the arms, just like all the other ones being very weak and the clutch power just kind of just not being there, the hairprint actually will not allow you to set the hairprint on there accordingly with the backpack that's attached, because as you can see, the ponytail gets in the way of the top piece of the jetpack there, and it just kind of floats above the head. So it's a design flaw, and it really doesn't go well for this character. So it's almost like the hair just has to either go off, or I have to leave the backpack off, and that's just kind of a bummer because it doesn't do this character justice. But either way, I mean, with that design flaw, you know, looking past that, I will say the overall print looks okay. The printing on the face is alright. It's not the greatest, but it does work for the character. And then the overall actual contrast and vibrancy of the character is pretty nice as well. I do like the fact that it's two-toned on there, and the fact that the gray is actually very close to the gray match on here, even though this is paint and this is actual plastic. So I think they matched it fairly well. If I do take off the head, I think there might be some printing on the back. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can see, I mean, it covers all the back, but it is actually still decently detailed, at least back there. So if I leave that off, leave the head on, and then put the hair on, it actually is, well, I guess that's pretty loose too, now that I think about it. That actually just kind of floats right on top there. There is no clutch power. It just sits on top. So, and then we're still seeing those issues with the stand on this. It's kind of throughout the entire character. So, some bad plastic molding on this one. But this is character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6. Who is character number 6? Minifig number 7. Even though it's very unlikely that we'll ever see Fortnite and LEGO merge together officially, this is definitely one of the characters I don't think asbestos will ever really see, even if LEGO did make these characters. And the main reason is because there's so much going on. The hat fits into the hair. The skirt fits into the feet. Let's call it a weapon here. The weapon with the several different intricate pieces in there. This would have to be a complete solid mold. It's just too much. It would never happen in a LEGO CMF miniseries. We wouldn't see it. But nonetheless, I mean, what is going on here? It's okay. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of this, but I do think it's actually done fairly well based on what it is. They're using official LEGO parts, or LEGO parts that already officially made, that to basically create this character. So it is kind of believable based on that. My biggest design flaw with this is just that everything fits so loosely, and the fact that you can't really, the skirt prevents anything from really holding into the hand. It goes past this point because it blocks it. It just sticks out too far. And then you could also see the face print is kind of a little muddy. So it's okay. It's okay. If I were to rate this one, I'd probably give it a C. But it's definitely not the favorite out of this lot so far. So this is minifigure number 7. Who is this character? Minifigure number 8. So I try to always do my best to give you guys an honest opinion of what I really think about these characters, and I sometimes tend to be a little bit harsh on them. The main reason is because I don't want anybody to buy them and like say, oh, well, you told me to get these and they're horrible. I just want to give you my honest opinion, because what I do appreciate about these characters most of the time is the fact that they are cool and it's something that LEGO doesn't do. But most of the time, I'm usually disappointed with the stuff that comes out of the knockoff category, and that's mainly because just the quality of plastic shows up, and all the combination of all these other characters that I just reviewed or went over is essentially built up into this guy right here. All the flaws that are in all the other ones are in this one, and it starts from the arms tearing off, to the poor molding on the stand, to the really bad molding and grip for the head. It literally, there's no clutch power. It just kind of sits right on top there. So that's a big bummer. There's nothing really keeping that thing attached. And on top of the fact that just it is all splotchy on there, and it's kind of hard to see, but it almost feels like this is a different plastic. And just if you witnessed like 2 seconds ago, the bow and arrow like shot out at amazing, I don't know, lightning speeds, because it's so cheaply put together and it's made of this flimsy plastic. So it just like, there's nothing to it. And that's exactly what's going on here. I tried to actually put these arrows in here, and I think this original design might be from Brick Warriors, I think. Maybe it's Brick Arms, one of them. But these things, because it's so poorly done and you can see all the extra plastic bits all over them, they don't hold in there. They don't hold in his hand. It's just done very poorly. So, I mean, the design is not the problem. I guess the original creator who came up with this design, which is, again, Ashnflash and Just2good, but the problem comes into the poor plastics. Ew, is that a hair? It's a weird gray hair in there. Poor plastics, poor printing, and I guess poor paint. The whole thing is pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, you could look at the design. Design's pretty good, but very bad execution on this one. Alright guys, it is that time of the video. Again, I mixed up these so you guys couldn't just skip to the end of the video and try and guess all which one's in order. I skipped up the order, mixed them all around, so let me know in the original order that I viewed them which ones, 1 through 8, what their names are. List them down below, and again, I will pick the top 3 subscribers and give you guys a shout out in the next video I do. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Make sure you click the thumbs up button, subscribe, and click that little bell. And until next time, you can help us take a gander.